Hey everyone, welcome to
Hey.
Is Well Book Club. We are here in the house for our very first She Is Well Book Club. I am joined by two of my amazing contributing authors. Hopefully, we're joined by a third. Angie is supposed to join us so that we can have a story of power, strength, and wellness. I am Delana Watkins, the visionary author for this amazing international book project that's been out there in them streets for exactly a month on Monday. We dropped this bad boy on 321. And so some amazing things have happened just in a month. And so launching this book club was just another icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So what I want you guys to do, wherever you're watching us from, is just act as though we're all, even though we're virtual, I want you to act as though we're all sitting together in a room talking about this book and about the nuggets that Tawan is going to drop and that Latalia is about to drop with their chapters, as well as myself, and then hopefully Angie, if she's able to join us as well. So, ladies, one of the requirements for tonight was for us to sip on something. So, Latalia, Miss Ignited, what you over there sipping on? Show me what you sipping on.
I have some black pico sweet tea.
Black pico sweet tea. Okay.
Excuse me, and it's iced. It's iced.
Oh, iced.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how somebody that like to ignite something suddenly want to cool down, but okay.
Because listen,
all right.
listen. We chilling on the couch. We chilling on the couch.
We chilling on the couch. Okay, it's couch time, right? Y'all see me on the couch. Okay, we're gonna do that. All right. Miss Tawan, TLC Publishing, Tea Lovers Cafe. What you over there sipping on?
Well, I have up my nice big old mug, and I'm sipping on some cranberry orange iced tea from the Tea Lovers Cafe. It's a refresher.
Okay.
Cranberry orange. Sound like that got some
cranberry
spice too.
And I got a little bit of that sparkling ice water. You know, they have that sparkling ice water. I put just a little bit of that into the tea.
Just to give it a little fizz. All right.
I like that, Tawan.
All right, Angela, I see you there chatting, but I need you to go look for the StreamYard link in your email so that you can join us on the screen, because I can't add you on the screen. So come on in the room, come on in the book club. Let's go. Look in your email, hit that link, and then you're going to pop up on the screen. All right, ladies, so I'm going to kind of read a little bit from the forward, right? Because Dr. Rika Wilson, she dropped one of the most bomb forwards that I have read in a while. When I say this was like the introduction to the book, did she not? Come on, let's give it up for Dr. Rika Wilson. I mean, this forward in this book, let me just tell you, okay? It says, collective stories are the salve of our community. We are either birthing our own stories or marinating in midwifery while our sisters are pushing through the pain to breathe new life onto their dry bones. Okay. Have you ever had a valley season? Speak on it. Drop those nuggets, lady. Tell us, have you ever had a valley season?
I've had a few valley seasons.
Hello. Been down the valley, come up, creeped up, pull myself up by my toenails. Okay. Had a hand up from another sister.
That's right.
Where did you turn your lowest moment? Reading has a way of taking folks on an unforgivable journey. Sit down, relax a moment. So that's what we're going to do in this book club, okay? Is tonight I want you guys to sit down and think of a time when you have been in your valley season. How did you get out of that valley season? Who was there? Who supported you? What did that look like? All of that. We're going to all talk about that because we've all had valley seasons and we've all had moments. So when thinking about that, in my particular chapter, the reason why I did this book, this whole She Is Well experience, and I talk about that in the introduction, this originally was supposed to be me dropping nuggets, and it just would not come. And so I realized that I needed my sisters, like you guys, to be there to really help me push through. Like she mentioned, that whole midwifery, right? Yes, that midwife. So that was so impactful. I needed 20 other women to help me give birth to She Is Well. Come on now. Y'all need to take a sip on that. Drink on it. I need y'all to take a sip on that. I needed 20 other women to help me birth this through. Okay.
Because I'm not my sister's keeper. I am my sister.
I am my sister.
Yes, we put a whole new spin on that, a whole new meaning. So ladies, drop in the comments. Tell me about your Valley season. Do you really believe that having that whole midwifery experience and being surrounded by your sisters around power, strength, and wellness has helped you at some point in your life? And then Latalia, I want you to tell us, how did it make you feel when you wrote your chapter? What was that experience like for you to be able to write? Because we talk about writing being therapeutic, right? So tell me, how did it feel for you to actually write your chapter? Because your chapter was pretty deep too.
It was freeing. It was freeing. It also helped me to unravel emotions that I had not visited since that period of time in my life. So it really allowed me the opportunity to get still and reflect on what I actually went through. Right. A lot of times we go through our valley lows, we come up to our mountain or hilltops and don't even realize that we're out of the valley, because there's a part of us still stuck in the valley. The trauma of it, right? And we're just moving just on automatic. Moving because we have to move, moving because we have to survive. But we don't take the time to go back and look at what we've been through, where we've come from, and how we got here. And
that
so
was freeing for me too.
That helped me to really reflect, and it empowered me, because I was now able to equip myself with the things that I utilize to help get myself up out of the valley.
That makes sense. And that's so powerful. Yeah, it does. As you're saying that, I'm thinking about it for me too. So I initially had started writing my chapter probably a year before I did this book. And even what I wrote then didn't equate to how I was feeling at the point that I actually released this book, because a lot had happened in the year, but some of it was still very relevant. And I'll share a little bit more about that as we're talking more in the discussion. But you're right, it was very freeing, and it helped me to get unstuck in some ways in a lot of what I was going through, for sure.
You look back and you like, what? I did that.
I did that. I made it through.
And look at where I am now. And I'm able to share. I'm able to reach back and support someone else who may be in their valley right now dealing with a similar situation. So it felt really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel good about it, because initially I wasn't going to talk about it, and I had only spoken about it to friends. So be able to put that into print and for the whole world to read, for people in, Australia, Ghana, other places that our book may end up, here in our own backyard, for people to be able to read your story, that was powerful, because I had to be okay with them understanding where I was, because remember, people only see what you allow them to see, and sometimes not what's also deep inside your heart. And so I did, kind of reveal a lot of how I was feeling when I suddenly lost my mom. And some of that was very deep. It wasn't superficial for me. It was very emotional for me. So,
it was beneath the surface.
Oh, yeah, very much so. So, Tawan, your story, I think when people read the first line or so, was probably thinking it was a little something than what it really was. So once you finally shared that, how did that make you feel?
The same way that both of you did, but for me, this was something, a part of my life I never was going to share with anyone. Only people who knew, the intimate folks who were close to me at the time, are the only ones. It is still some people who are like, wow, I did not know that. And believe it or not, it's in another book, but the other book, and the book was about grief, but I wrote it and I gave it to them, and I removed myself from the project because I didn't want to touch it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So in sharing it here and touching it and being the publisher made me really have to keep reading it and reading it and reading it. And what I realized is that I know I'm good at this. I'm good at compartmentalizing things and sticking things down and just kind of moving. It still hurt. It still hurt. This is one of those situations where you just have to learn to live with the decision and what is going on. And I don't think there will ever be any real type of total relief from me, but I'm good. If you know what I mean. Good, but it's something that I'm probably never going to really fully get over. And it was a little hard. And I realized too that my family had not healed from this. I shared it with my mom, and I shared the story with her and let her read it. And my mother was so emotional. And what I had not realized, and everybody trying to protect me and my pain, that there were also still some pain with some of my family members when it came to this. So just a little bit more healing, or maybe just talking about it a little bit more and just seeing where everybody was, especially my mother, and just how do we move. She's like me too. She put things in a pocket, and we just kind of go with life. And really, she's probably never going to have a trigger. You know what I'm saying? Until I read the book, I'm going to have plenty of triggers. You know what I mean? So it was interesting to see her response and just to realize that that's a part of my family, literally a part of my legacy that hurts.
Yeah, and part of it, like you said, I think is very freeing for you and for your mom to know that it's okay, because sometimes when you're going through, people don't know how to approach you or how to broach the subject, or not to see where you are in your healing. And so therefore it's usually the elephant that's in the room that's invisible, and we don't talk about it as long as we're getting day by day going through whatever it is. And so your particular situation and what you are healing from is something that most people don't think about, because it wasn't grief of actual physical loss. You know what I mean? And I'm going to have you share something so that, again, it's a type of grief for a loss, but in a different way well. Yeah. So let me see if there's any comments from some individuals on Facebook. I always got to try to include our family on Facebook. So thank you guys, whoever is joining us live. We're streaming onto our She Is Well Tribe page, as well as my personal page. So welcome to all of our viewers that are joining us via that platform. Also on StreamYard, if you click the link and is joining us, just say hello. I am joined by Latalia Palmer, Tawan Lowe, and Angie Sanders, who just made it on. So welcome. They are all contributing authors in the book. So Angie, glad you made it. Tell us,
thank you.
How do you feel now that you have written your chapter? I know that your story was a long time coming as well. So tell me how you feel now that you have been able to share your story.
I think for me, I feel liberated because I was finally able to share it. I had been in a place where I was shameful and kind of embarrassed. So for me to finally put the pen to the paper and write my story was actually liberating. And I felt that I actually saved the lives of some other women who are kind of torn between, should I stay, should I go? And, the message for them is it's okay to let it go.
Right.
If it has let you go, it's okay to let it go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. And I like how you said liberating. Liberating and freeing kind of are synonymous with one another. But I think in some ways being liberated is more of like a celebration, and freeing is more of an emotion. And Latalia started out by saying that with it being freeing. And I think for me, it was a relief. If I had to sum it up, it was a relief, because I knew that I was grieving. I had a certain level of expectation. I was supposed to just go through the stages of grief and kind of come out on the other side and still smile and still be able to function. And that was very difficult for me, because I felt like I wasn't able to properly grieve the loss of my mom, or that I was supposed to do it in a way that other people expected me to. And because of that, I felt like maybe that didn't mean that I missed her as much, or I wasn't upset that she was gone. There was just so many like emotions that I was going through at the time, as dealing with that. And I didn't know how to quite put it into words. So, yeah, it can be all of that. For me, it was just really a relief to finally just put it out there and not kind of have this facade go on that, I didn't go through this valley period, right? This grief period, right? So
that you're actually in touch with your feelings, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. That I didn't have to be this superwoman, that I didn't have to, kind of put on this, this facade as though all is well. And that I'm able to kind of still go on and carry on and, have people say, oh, you're strong, oh, your mom would have wanted you to do this. And oh, your mom would have wanted you to do that. I understand all that, but there's still also a process of that you must go through so that you can embrace those things, right? I believe that all of that is true, but at the same time, I do believe that you still have to go through grief the proper way, because if not, it'll show up in other ways.
That's true.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So sip on something, because all of that was good. Now we're going to go a little deep. Hey, Q, I saw Q. I put her comment on there. Q, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you are sipping on something too. Cold, hot, good, juicy, liquefied, whatever it is. I told y'all mine tastes like a Jolly Rancher. I have no idea what my husband put in this cup, but it is good. It tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. So I don't know. He's in the background laughing. I have no idea what he got me sipping on. So y'all gonna have to
do, Tommy.
Right. If they said, what you do, Tommy?
Y'all in the empty nest now.
Yes, we're in the empty nest. So anything is liable to happen. Okay.
We want to keep the nest empty, right? Andy?
Yeah.
We're gonna keep the nest empty, all empty. Hey, Val joined us.
Hi, Val.
Yes, hey, Val. Val's also another contributing author as well in this book. Again, you guys, we are here with the She Is Well Book Club, just talking about our chapters and just having sort of an open discussion. And right now we're talking about just kind of how freeing and empowering and liberating and such a relief it was for us to share our chapters, to write what it is that we wrote in each of our chapters. Now, what I want us to do is actually talk about what that is. So, Latalia, what was your chapter? Not what it was about, but give us an impactful passage in your chapter. Something. Read us a little something.
I could do that.
Do that.
See. All right. So I'm going to page 38.
Page 38. All right. And if you have the book, turn your book to page 38. If you don't, go to sheiswellbooks.com and get your book so that you will have your book for the next book club. Okay. So it's sheiswellbooks.com.
In this part of this chapter, I talked about being determined to keep my promise to myself, keep my promise to my mother, right? And the promise was to write my book. And so many things occurred between the time that I made the promise and the day that I actually hit the publish button that one would have thought that I wouldn't have made it to that moment.
That you wouldn't have hit that
I would
publish
not have
button.
hit the publish button. But it took on a whole new meaning for me. I promised my mom December of 2014 that I would write the book in March of 2015. She transitioned in 2015, March. And I had not written the book. And so, again, fighting through adversity and understanding that it's not always here to take you under. Right. And that you can still push through and birth your dreams despite of. And so the passage that I want to read, or the paragraph I want to read, says, no matter what you are facing, no matter how out of control your circumstances seem, there is always an opportunity to claim what God gave you. You are not lost and you are not alone. You can claim the very breath you breathe, the very thoughts you are thinking. Your breath is life and your thoughts are creative in nature. Both are extremely powerful and they are your own to gain control of. So in the moment when we're going through and it seems so chaotic and it seems like you are helpless, powerless, know that the very things that God gave you at birth are there to support you, to bring you out of that valley.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's all of those. That whole entire paragraph has a lot to do with what we said in the very introduction in the foreword. Things may seem like they're out of control and your circumstances may not seem ideal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But your breath is life and your thoughts are creative in nature. So I hope there's someone out there right now, if you're listening, if you're thinking about where you are and if things get rough, because even for me, I just was sharing earlier today with two of my girlfriends. Sometimes my mind gets so creative, it gets ahead of me. And then I feel like I'm not effective because I'm not able to kind of push through and like finish things. And so sometimes we have to slow down and just know that if it's there for us and if we take our time and give it the right attention, that it will manifest itself and it will come to fruition. And that's something that I think matter of fact, I know that you did, because you were going through, not only with dealing with BRCA1, stage 4 cancer. Yeah, BRCA1, stage 3. Stage 3, BRCA1 breast cancer. Let me get it right. 3 and 1 is 4, okay? However.
So BRCA1 is the gene.
Yeah, that's the gene.
That's the gene, yeah.
And
it was advanced stage 3 inflammatory breast cancer, triple negative. So
right.
It was very, very rare.
It was very rare and very aggressive.
Yeah.
If any of you know anything. And so that in and of itself, having to deal with the fact that you've got something going on physically with you, but still being able to hit that publish button, that takes a lot. And that comes from an inner place for you to be able to say, this is what I'm determined to do.
Yeah. And then the other piece about our thoughts is understanding that because they are creative, if we continue to allow our thoughts to stray in a downward spiral, our life is going, in situations, circumstances in our life are going to take form that follow. And so we have to be able to reel that in and guide our focus to where we want it to go.
Right. Someone once said to me, where your energy, I think it's where your thoughts and energy
goes.
Yeah. Where your energy goes, your thoughts flow. Yeah. Something of that nature, basically saying what you just said, that we need to give energy to positive thoughts and not to negative thoughts. And that really makes sense, right? It's the whole flow.
And acknowledging where you are. It's okay to acknowledge where you are. It's okay to acknowledge your feelings, but be present with yourself, not lost in the experience.
Right. Absolutely. That's deep. Yeah, that's powerful. So that's deep. That's powerful for somebody out there who needs that may be going through that and struggling through that, especially right now. You know, I know we're really kind of coming out of this COVID situation, but that whole, people being stuck with their thoughts and, maybe not feeling as productive, or even loss, whether it's loss of a loved one or loss of a job, loss of, skill sets, whatever, that they may have been going through COVID. That right there will give you the encouragement and the empowerment that you need to kind of push through and kind of come out on the other side as well. All right, so let's move from that story. So that's Latalia, and what she shared was on page 38 in the She Is Well book. So Tawan,
yes,
share with us something impactful from your chapter.
I'm reading from page 51. And it says,
hold up, let me get there.
Let me get to 51, y'all. Get to 51.
Hold up.
51. Okay.
Like I said, if you don't have the book, you got to go to sheiswellbooks.com to grab your book, or get with one of these amazing co-authors as well that invited you to tonight's book club and get your book, okay? Because I'm telling you, this book will shift things up for you. Because we got 21 women, 20 authors, myself as a visionary author, that shared some deep power, strength, and wellness stories. All right, Tawan, we on 51. What you got?
When I finally started talking back to God, I asked him, why again? As usual, his response was perfect. He said Taylor's mother abandoned her 1 hour after giving birth. She didn't get the instant love, snuggles, hugs, and warmth that mother gives to their newborn. I wanted her to experience the normalcy of a home and family, and I knew you would love her unconditionally. Wow. Helped me understand my purpose in Taylor's life. He reminded me why I wanted to be an adoptive parent. He used me to give her normalcy in the first 6 months of her life, and that I did. For me,
yes,
that is probably that was the biggest lesson in all of this. In the beginning of the story, if you read my story and you hear how it starts off, you think I'm talking about getting married. But I'm talking about my desires, something that I had desired all my life. Always wanted to be a parent, wanted to have a child. Had not got to that. Had made a decision at 16 that I was going to be a foster parent or adopt. Did that. I mean, lo and behold, they called me with a 1-day-old baby, a girl, something I wanted, wonderful. When they called me back and said 6 months later, one of the family members had come and wanted to take her, my world was crushed. And I asked God, how could you give me the desire of my heart and then break it? I just could not understand. And when you hear that paragraph start, when I started speaking back to God, because for a long time, in the depth of my pain caused me to temporarily to disconnect from God. And I mean, just gonna be honest, the depth of my pain had me almost paralyzed in everything. But when I did ask, what he said to me was, sometimes how I will use you can hurt. I didn't put that here, but sometimes how I will use you would hurt, because this wasn't about you, it was about her.
Right.
That's the part you have to understand. And I knew you could handle giving her back. Truthfully. Because you understand the importance of being connected to family.
Wow.
So what would have been more important? That you get the desires of your heart, or this child be with her biological family and can be connected to the people that is her bloodline.
Right.
Hard pill to swallow. Hard pill to swallow. But because I understand there's always a plan, God always has a plan. And that was just a part of the plan. And I'm glad that I could do that. And it took some time to really to get that. I mean, because when he said it to me, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I ain't automatically price that feeling. But as I started to unpack it, I understood what my call was and what my purpose. And it was really connected to a bigger purpose of me being a foster parent. I just didn't realize it then.
Right.
It had something to do with the bigger picture and how he was going to use me to be a parent along the way. And this was just part of the plan. So that part for me, even in writing this the second time, that reminder, when I told y'all it still hurt, that reminder when I wrote that part gave me some peace.
Yeah. So that was the whole healing piece for you.
Right, because when you know what your purpose is and understanding your purpose in it now, I mean, because when we in the middle of it, like, what is the purpose?
Of course. Yeah, we're in the middle of it. We got our feelings all in it when we're in it.
All over the place. But knowing and being a person of understanding your purpose and knowing about walking in your purpose, I was just like, I can be okay with this. Not saying that there are not times, because I will say after this, after I wrote this a couple of days, I cried because I was like, I would love to see my baby.
Yeah, that pain is real,
Yeah. But I think sometimes when we're in the midst of something, and I think Natalia talked about it earlier, how we allow ourselves to sometimes go down that path of negativity. We never really stop to ask, what am I supposed to gain and learn from this? Because there's always, God don't put nothing.
There's always a lesson in it. Yeah, absolutely.
Even in loss and death, there's still something for us to learn, to change. It's something there. You know, there is something there. So for me, I think this part of my story should equip others to understand that when you're going through, sometimes it's not even about you. You just have to be used.
Yeah, sometimes that's it. You have to be used as a vessel. Absolutely.
You got to connect to your higher being and start asking some questions, because your physical eye and your mind is not going to be able to understand that. You need to understand it in a spiritual, in a different realm of life. That you just not going to understand that in the natural.
Yeah, correct. Yep. I agree. So any of our viewers that's out there watching, if you guys have ever been a foster parent and had that type of experience where you have fostered a child and sort of embraced them, you know, as your own, and then you had a family member come and, you know, want to be in that child's life and then end up regaining custody of them. And so, like Tawan said, it is a loss, and it's probably something that you maybe didn't brace yourself for, especially if you, like Tawan, was a newly, you know, foster parent of a brand new baby, abandoned at 1 day old, at the hospital, and then you embracing that child, thinking that you were going to be their quote parent, and being able to, you know, sort of raise them for the first 6 months of their life. And it is a loss, right? Although the child didn't pass away, didn't die, but it's still a loss. Yeah, it's still a loss. So it's grief in a different fashion. So comment if you or someone you know actually has gone through that particular loss, experience of loss.
And it's a relationship.
It's a loss of a relationship. And I just want to say, you know, when they asked me would I adopt her, you know, you think lifelong. And the one thing I thought so hard about is we hear about failed adoptions all the time. So you have to give a lot of thought and have that conversation with my family, but also thought that was God really truly giving me the desires of my heart, because there's so many people who want to adopt kids and they never get a newborn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I was just like, oh, look at my blessing. You know, my miracle has come through. But people don't look at failed adoptions as you do any other type of loss. And it's an significant loss. As Natalia said, it's a loss of a relationship. I mean, you build a relationship with somebody for 6 months, don't matter if it's a child, an adult, it's a loss. You know,
it's a loss, right? That's what I mean. It's a type of loss. Yep, absolutely. All right. So comment. I'm checking the comments. I'm on my page, you guys. And thank you all for interacting. Thank you all for watching. Please comment, tag, share a friend, share with a friend, tag a friend about the She Is Well book club. And like I said, we are virtual, but we're all just kind of chilling and relaxing, drinking on whatever we're drinking, and just really have an open discussion and dialogue about the She Is Well book. And tonight, as the visionary author of this book, I'm just joined by 3 of the contributing authors that's in the book. We have 20 total. And throughout the next coming weeks, we will speak to other contributing authors and have them do the same, just kind of share how they felt about writing their chapters, something impactful that they feel they have written in their chapter that will elicit some discussion. So again, anything that you've heard us talk about or share, if you've read the book, comment about something that you have read in the book that made you have an aha moment, or that impacted you, or that had you maybe change course, or think about something that you're currently doing. Okay, and just hashtag She Is Well and comment. All right, Angie.
Yes.
Your chapter was a long time coming. So share with us something impactful in your chapter as well.
Okay, I am on page 161.
Okay, 160. Angie in the 100, y'all. She in the 100.
I'm in the 100.
161.
She in that high level.
Yes, Hunty.
All right, Angie, what you got for us? We on 161.
161, God's plan. I remembered the women who played major roles in my life growing up down south. Their strength of how they overcame obstacles in their life was a sounding board for me to draw my strength upon. You have it in you to do this. In the midst of my head spinning, I heard a whisper, be still and know that I am God. Your exit will be a masterpiece creatively designed for you and the plans that I have for you. you will lack nothing.
Come on now.
Come on. Yes.
For me, that's one of my powerful, pivotal moments during that event, because I was still so full of hate and anger at the person. And, when we're trying to do the planning, it's not right. For me, I had moved from under God's anointing, and that was the first mistake. So when I heard him whisper to me, I had to be still, because God has a way of chastising you to get you to listen. And I stopped abruptly. And when I heard those words, it was like, okay. And I remember my grandmother, and I wrote this in the chapter, saying obedience. And obedience allows you to reap the benefits of what God has for you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
In that moment, I was able to say, okay, let me get back under God's anointing so he can guide me, so I can be where I need to be, because he's going to provide all of my needs and some of my wants. So at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. I feel like Lazarus right now, because it doesn't feel like he's doing anything. He's, because we as humans want the instant gratification. We want it as in yesterday. And I wanted it to be fixed in our time, and I wanted it to be over with so I could move on with my life. And that wasn't a part of me growing through the pain. So in that moment, I had to come back under God's anointing so he could guide me, and I can be able to move through these obstacles without going through and being burned.
Right.
So
absolutely,
that was the part. And for me, growing up down south, I had a lot of women that imparted into my life, because I was raised as the only child. So everybody else's mother was my mom. So I gained a lot of knowledge from the other girlfriends of mine's mothers, and what they learned. So for me, that was pivotal for me to fall back on their strength and the obstacles that I know that they had gone through as mothers, and then my girlfriends as sisters. So that gave me something to hold on and grasp onto tangibly as I went through this event, especially also too with my sisters, and you being one of them. So yes, that for me was God snatching me back and saying, I can't let you go there, because for one thing, orange jumpsuits don't look good on me. So I need you to come back over here.
You better say
it gotta be the right color, right tone, orange, style of jumpsuit, okay?
Yes.
Because you can work an orange jumpsuit, girl. It just got to be the right flavor.
It got to be the right color.
Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
So a lot of what we said, a lot of what we said has been already stated and in the forward. And that's why I led with that, because a lot of what she talks about our collective stories being the salve of the community and having the sisterhood. So another part of what she said is, we are sisters, words that have refused to drown in the midst of the valley. Our words have emerged out of the deep and dark corners of our broken hearts. She goes on to say that we are multicolored, shiplap, unshackled, ancestral chains seeking freedom. We are freedom words unbound by invisible heavy chains. This midnight sun rocks our heart to sleep like a newborn baby waiting for daylight to appear behind the shy mountains. Indigo blue and purple emotional rocking chairs only stop singing slave riverbank songs when we lift our heads and open our eyes. And I hope that tonight, throughout this book club, something that was shared by myself or these co-authors in their chapters, just a small snippet of what is being told and shared throughout their experience in their chapter, has resonated with you and will hopefully give you the courage. If you're in a valley season, if you've been in a valley season, if you've been in a valley season and you came out of it and you want to share, to do what we're doing, which is impact other women and share and become part of a sisterhood tribe, then I encourage you to connect with us on the She Is Well tribe, as well as be part of volume 2, where we share hope, healing, and happiness. It's all collective, because it's you sharing what you've gone through what you've experienced, and what we continue to go through that will help another woman. So it has been my absolute pleasure to spend this time with you guys here for our very first She Is Well Book Club.
Yes.
Yes. So it really was meant to kind of just be in a relaxed type of environment. Like I said, I wanted you guys to envision us sitting in someone's living room. Natalia was gonna light her fireplace, but she didn't do that. Sitting around
Listen, we'd all been sitting around trying to go to sleep.
I know. Look, all of them gonna text me, email me, or call and be like, "Well, I was gonna take a nap. Not today.
Right.
We're gonna do our book club. I'm gonna keep it under an hour, and then you guys can take your naps. So you know you over 40, 45 when you want to take a nap and be in the bed by 8 o'clock. Okay?
Yes. In bed by 9.
In bed by 9. Okay, so y'all get refreshed up bright and early. So it has been an absolute pleasure to share the very first She Is Well Book Club. Again, there's 20 authors. They each will have an opportunity to sit on the couch and be a part of the She Is Well Book Club. Stay connected to us. If one of the contributing authors invited you to tonight's book club and you don't have a book, make sure you connect with them to purchase a book, or go to sheiswellbooks.com to get your book. If you are interested in sharing your story, I still have 5, just 5, 5 author slots available for volume 2. Yes,
that's
so
awesome.
It is. So I have 5, and a lot of the ladies that's in volume 1 are referring people to be in volume 2 because of the experience. Again, it is not just you sharing in this chapter in this book. It is really a community, global effort for your story and what you're sharing and your experience to be impacted by women that need to see and hear what you have to say and share.
Awesomeness.
All right. Any last words from my contributing authors?
Yes, thank you for inviting me. This was really good. I love the heart to heart, sharing with my sisters, hearing from my sisters. Yeah, this was really
That's what it's all about. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. And so whether you're watching us live in the book club or you come back and you're watching the replay, if something that was said, impacts you or have you thinking differently about anything that you may be experiencing or going through right now in your life, then the She Is Well book has done its job. Okay, the mission.
I have one thing I want to share.
Absolutely.
For me, when I signed my books, one of the things I put as an inscription was always remember, no one but you has the power to live in wellness. And that was part of, that was part of
what you signed on your book.
Right. On my inscription for all of my books I sent out. Because we do have the power, but we have to decide to live in wellness with the power that's bestowed within us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to share that. Yeah.
Thank you with your autograph copy.
I hope they could read it.
She got that autograph ready.
Listen, that part, and she is not lying. I hope they can read this. For all of y'all folks that got your books,
she got that doctor handwriting.
She got that doctor handwriting. Okay, so she just gave you guys what it says. So just make sure you remember it or write it down. So you get it, you'll know what it says. Okay,
that's hilarious.
Thank you.
And so, in closing, I'm gonna say what I always say and what's in the book. And that is that she is everything that came before her.
Wow.
Yes.
She is well. You are the sum of all of your experiences. Yes. So thank you guys. Powerful. And I will see you again.
Thank you all.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Stay safe, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.